My name is Chloe Rory. I am a junior agribusiness major and second year South Carolina State 1890 Ag Innovation Scholar from Chesterfield, South Carolina. I am pleased to participate in this historical milestone of the university and equally delighted to deliver the welcome. I extend greetings to members of the Bulldog family who have joined us today, as well as our devoted supporters and friends. I also want to acknowledge those who have joined us via live stream on our digital platforms, Facebook and YouTube, to watch today's program. Hello and thank you for joining us. Today we will hear some exciting news about a new grant funding opportunity at South Carolina State University, in which the Department of Agriculture's Natural Resources Conservation Service has awarded SC State 1890 a multi-million-dollar award to advance the climate-smart commodities technologies in the state of South Carolina. As an innovation scholar studying the training to lead to the food and fiber and forest industry, the announcement of this award is exemplary of the innovation required to further progress agriculture in a way that will help boost the economy while also helping to sustain our environment. I am so honored that my peers and I have the opportunity to witness this moment. I hope we all are inspired to reach our full potential and make our own mark in the field of agriculture. Our program will proceed as follows. In absence of our 13th president, retired Colonel Alexander Conyers, Dr. Frederick Evans, and the newly named Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs will deliver the occasion. Dr. Lewis Whitesides, Vice President for Public Service and Agriculture and Executive Director of the SC State 1890 Research and Extension Program, will bring the remarks. Then partner remarks will be provided by Dr. Lamin Draymond, Director of SC State's 1890's Strategic Initiatives, Evaluation, and Engagement, who also serves as the lead principal investigator, and Robert Etheridge, CEO of Mix and Seed. Dr. Whitesides will return to the podium for closing remarks and acknowledgments. We will then allow one-on-one interviews for any media present. So without any further delay, please join me in welcoming Dr. Frederick Evans to the podium.
Thank you so much, and good morning to you. President Alex Conyers, he is still traveling. When he contacted me on yesterday evening, he said, Dr. Evans, you remember I told you to stay ready so you will not have to get ready. I need you to deliver the occasion this morning on my behalf. So I shall read to you prepared comments from the 13th president of South Carolina State University, President Alex Conyers. It's indeed a wonderful day to be a Bulldog. We thank you today for joining us for another historical milestone at South Carolina State University, as we announce the first university public-private partnership grant award funding at South Carolina State University. We gather today to recognize South Carolina State University and its 1890 Research and Extension Program as the recipient of a $4.5 million grant awarded by the United States Department of Agricultural, Natural Resources, Conservation Services, in which the funding will be used to educate and train South Carolina's small and minority farmers and producers in climate-smart practices. What makes this award particularly significant is the partnership with Mix and Seed and the South Carolina Black Farmer Coalition. The project will use South Carolina State's 1890 extension agents to recruit small-scale, limited-resource, and underserved farmers in South Carolina who has interest in adopting and implementing best management practices to grow climate-smart commodities, such as leafy greens and covered crops. The recruited farmers will receive incentives for adopting climate-smart conservation agricultural practices. Most of the world's greatest achievements happen through partnerships. As such, South Carolina State University, through our 1890 Research and Extension Program, and in partnership with Mix and Seed and the South Carolina Black Farmers Coalition, share a great opportunity to make a mark in enhancing the lives of the state's underserved and socially disadvantaged farmers. I want to thank this morning Dr. Louis Whiteside and Dr. Lamine Dramed for their bold leadership and vision, and for the entire South Carolina State 1890 Extension team for their tireless efforts and commitment in ensuring that we are providing all of the tools and resources necessary for South Carolina small farmers to thrive. Thank you, Robert Etheridge of Mix and Seed, and Darrell Orridge of the South Carolina Black Farmers Coalition. We look forward to working with you. While we are excited about the new funding opportunity that will truly impact our farmers, the work starts now. We're moving onward and upward for all of South Carolina. Thank you.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Provost, Dr. Evans, for those remarks in absence of our president. But I want to talk to you all for a little while about what this actually means. So, South Carolina State University took a major step forward with this award. University and industry research collaborations is one of the major research policy priorities of our great country, the United States of America. Increasingly, the capacity of a nation to produce wealth depends on investment in strengthening the so-called triangle of knowledge, which is research, education, and innovation. Many studies show that competitive capacity is favored by policies that stimulate technological transfer and incentivize osmosis between the worlds of academic research and industry. Research collaboration between universities and industry has positive effects in economic growth, social value, and competitiveness. With the major physical deficits that our nation carries, priorities are being placed on the most important items to appropriate. So the current funding climate means it's undoubtedly a rough time for research science. Many stellar applications for research, federal research grant dollars are not being funded simply because there's such a limited pool of money. This means that competition for grants and jobs is fierce. Ain't that right, Mr. Malone? Our Associate Provost of Research always reminds us of that. Over the last 30 years, the United States has sought to maximize the benefits of publicly funded research to accelerate the knowledge transfer and entrepreneurship and to fuel innovation and economic growth. In light of the benefits of strengthening university-industry links, particularly in terms of stimulating innovation and promoting technology transfer, public-private knowledge transfer occurs through a large number of formal channels, including research collaborations, licensing university inventions, joint ventures, and hiring university faculty, staff, students, and researchers, and informal channels such as our traditional ones of publications and presentations at conferences. Intellectual property can play a key role in terms of fueling innovation and driving business development through, for example, incubators, science parks, and university spinoffs. So South Carolina State University is setting the stage for accelerating its participation in the 5 components of a research innovation system. One is the inputs, which are research and development expenditures, research and development personnel, and private capital investment. 2, infrastructure and framework development, intellectual property development, creating an innovation climate, and public acceptance of new technology. Number 3, mutually beneficial interaction of public entities, industry knowledge professionals, and educational and public research institutions, which are intellectual talent. Number 4, the demand of new products and services. And number 5, the turnover in new and improved products and patents and things of the like. So now a key advantage of having the private sector to partner in public service is that it allows universities to concentrate on intellectual ideas and problem solving, as well as planning, policy, and regulation. The private sector, in turn, is empowered to do what it does best. That is to improve efficiency and the quality of service. So when public and private partnerships in research and public service is applied for the right project and within the right environment, it can produce a win-win situation for both the private and public sectors. So we do it right as far as public and private partnerships. This partnership is going to be a really, really big deal for us as university takes the next step in its research pursuits. But our model is still a little different. Mr. Darryl Orange from the South Carolina Black Farmers, so we talked about public-private partnerships, but we have a public, private, and nonprofit partnership. And so when you have university with the intellectual talent and you have the actual private part, the business know-how, the people as industry in the ground, what's normally missing in that is the people on the ground, the end user. And what the South Carolina Black Farmers bring to this are the end users that's supposed to benefit to this grant. And they'll be able to tell us what adjustments need to be made, where we're missing the boat, and where we're getting it right. So our public-private, nonprofit partnership that this grant represents is a big deal for us. It's a winning model, and we're going to win. Thank you very much.
Mr. Provost, good morning. Can I have Dr. Abujan with me and Dr. Onoro? I'm missing one of my partners in crime on this campaign here that we started at 1890 Research and Extension. My name is Lamin Drame. On my back here, you have Dr. Edward Abujan. Dr. Abujan is the Associate Extension Administrator, 1890 Research and Extension. Dr. Florence Onoro is a research scientist and extension specialist working on our hemp research. And our fourth partner, Dr. Joshua Adasi, our state program leader for agriculture and natural resources, is currently in Atlanta working on a multi-state grant trying to bring more resources to South Carolina State University. So each and every day, this is the mission. And I would like them to be here because I won't be fair to myself if it appears that I'm the only one who did this work. This work is a collaborative work. It's a partnership work. And in partnerships, sometimes requires sacrifice. Sometimes it requires selfishness. Sometimes it requires perseverance. Bringing people together to work on a unique, singular objective have to make adjustments of ego, perspectives, situations, understanding. And in everything we do as leaders, we should be able to understand that what comes next is beyond us, because we wouldn't be there. It's just the legacy that is out there. So these are the people who did the work with me, provided by an exquisite leadership from Dr. Whiteside, allow us to think outside the box, and where there are no boxes, we create our own very own boxes. And we have been doing that. And Albert Malone is here. When I first walked onto this campus 27 years ago, I saw a guy with a beautiful necktie, bow tie, and a purse on his shoulder. And I walked to him and I said, "Who are you?" He said he works in sponsor research and grants. And I said, one day I would like to be part of grants. And everything he said, just like Dr. Whiteside said, he told us to just think outside the box, go for it. If you don't ask, you don't get it. If you don't write, you won't get it. These grants are written from academic intellectual work. For 14 months, we began a negotiation and discussion with Robert Eldridge. We have an understanding that there are opportunities that may be coming along the road, but we don't know what they are. Dr. Whiteside scheduled the meeting, Robert came to grace the occasion, and we had conversations since then. That is why we had today established in the first public-private partnership at South Carolina State University. It is not by accident, it's intentional, purposeful. What does this mean for South Carolina State? Like I said, partnership will require sacrifices. When people or group of individuals come in, and as the president's comment aptly stated, some of the world's greatest accomplishments are done through collaboration and partnership. you bring your peace. Even in economics, we call it specialization and division of labor. That's when we can maximize productivity and growth. So with the private-public partnership, with the element of nonprofit, our farmers who could be the recipient of these opportunities, the beneficiaries of these opportunities, through their process and participation, they can change their means of farming and production, they can enhance their growth capacities. We will also work with them to help them secure markets and determine what kind of crops to grow and how the ultimate objective from the federal government, which is how do we mitigate climate impact, how do we sequester, emissions that are being created by, the global change in climate. All of those things are possible because we're going to be working together on these efforts. The farmers will benefit in so many ways, but this is not the same project as the project we successfully landed 5 months ago with Clemson University for $70 million. This is a separate, independent program standing to address a unique opportunity and a unique challenge within our farming sector, primarily limited resource, socially disadvantaged, marginalized farmers who can bring up to their own capacities. And then the key element from this project would be that this cover crop that they will be growing, farming, will become cash crop for them, another source of income for them, beyond what they will be benefiting from adaptation of these climate smart practices that included mulching, reduced residual, tillage management, as well as cover cropping. Where would mixing seed come in? The research element, our farmers' ability to adopt these partnerships where they can grow cover crops that can generate then cash crops, where they can grow cover crop that can enhance the quality of the soil, the organic matter in the soil, help reduce irrigation, all this good stuff that we know is vital and essential to maintaining the soil health, which is critical to maintaining the climate impact that we are having. So we see it from different perspectives. Who can participate? A farmer who have an acre as small as 1 up to 20 acres can participate in this. We are talking about millions of dollars working through the process to the farmers. For the institution, we get to build intellectual knowledge, intellectual capacity. We get to fulfill our land-grant mission of teaching, research, and service, particularly the extension service element to it. This is what we are here for. And I think, I think I can say this, Dr. Whitesides. This is the best partnership team we have assembled. Different people with different backgrounds. Ego put to the door, looking how to advance the cause of the institution. In the process, impact the communities that we serve. In the process, be a leading agent of change in the agriculture space in the US government. Partnerships in the private, partnership in non-government partnerships. So we appreciate the leadership from the president, from the provost, certainly our able vice president here. We are going to engage the community. Who can participate in it? Who cannot participate in it? We are fortunate to have Dr. Abujan, who have been small farms program manager for 1890 for over 20 years. Most of these farmers are on household name basis. So we are not entering something we do not know. We just saw the opportunity too good not to participate in it. So for 4 months, we began to write and rewrite. Our grants and contracts office, sponsor program participated with us. That's a partnership by itself. Our own grant office, Ms. James and her team, that's partnership by itself. Nobody can do this alone. But ultimately, however, the responsibility is what have you done when you had the opportunity to do it. And for us, the opportunity is to impact the quality of life and the standard of living for the citizens of South Carolina and beyond, because climate change is a global problem. If we fix the solutions here, it can help somebody else anywhere else. Thank you all so very much. If you all have tough questions, they are to answer it. I have no questions to say. Thank you.
I guess first, let me just say, Dr. Whiteside, Dr. Drummond, South Carolina State team, if you didn't get it already, a lot of excitement up here, and certainly again, I'm Robert Etheridge with Mix and Seed. I certainly share that, but we appreciate being here, but we really appreciate the partnership and some great words about all the work that's kind of gone on to get us to this point. Just a little bit about Mixon Seed. So many of you know Mixon's been around in the Orangeburg community and in the state of South Carolina and the region for many, many years, 50 years. So I'm privileged to lead the organization today. We've got a great history and great tradition, but the thing that excites me most is we've got a great future. And it's one based on innovation. We were together doing one of our first strategic plans about a month ago, and a couple of themes came through our strategic plan, and I think it really lines up well with what we've been talking about today. One is certainly innovation, but the other really at our core is an element around service and stewardship. And so we're excited to be able to work with South Carolina State, again, in a spirit of stewardship and in a spirit of service. You know, you heard about, Dr. Drummond mentioned cover crop and climate smart ag. We do lots and lots of work as Mixon in that space all around the region. But it's a real honor and a privilege and a responsibility. And Dr. Drummond, I think you said it well. You know, I think we've got an opportunity and a responsibility now. It's a golden moment in time. I think there you know, lots of funding opportunities and lots of support in the broader community as it pertains to climate smart ag and what we can do to mitigate the effects of climate change. And so I think it is incumbent on us to take action now and do it well. We're certainly excited. We're certainly excited about that opportunity, and we're going to get into the next steps of the plan. I would just say, you know, the good news is we've already started down that path. I think we've been working together on the research farm now for about a year, and looking at some different cover crop options that are growing and in place today. So again, we're excited about the partnership. We see great things, and again, I think probably the thing that excites me most is it's the right thing to do for the environment. It's the right thing to do for the state of South Carolina, but most importantly, because I think, Dr. Drummond, you said it, if it doesn't impact farmers, your constituents in this state, then we missed an opportunity. And I'm convinced that the work we're going to do together will, in fact, do that. It's the right thing to do for many reasons, but it's really the right thing to do for them and their land. So we're excited about the partnership and look forward to the next steps. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Robert. Now, me being a local boy from Orangeburg, South Carolina, I always knew Mixon Seed was here, but I didn't know what Mixon Seed was. I thought it was like bird seed, you know, what kind of seeds is that, you know? But when I met Robert, and we talked about what we can do together, and this was what, a year and a half ago? And you know, and one thing that a mentor of mine taught me, that you got to make friends before you go into big projects. You got to make friends first before you go with asking for stuff and doing some things. And he's truly been a friend. Now, I don't know if he was prepared for our meeting. We came to our meeting, and the way we meet and brainstorm, we get in the room, we put all our, you know, we cut the screen on and we just start brainstorming. And Robert, you was there for a couple hours. We sat there. So it was intense, going back and forth, debating. So literally, the framework for this grant we laid out that day. We laid it out that day, and this was a year and a half ago. So when the opportunity came, we had already lined up how we were going to work together and what we were going to do. So it became really easy to put the specifics, the details together. I say that Dr. Drummond say something different than Eddie and Dr. Neuro, because again, it was 4 months of them putting this together and that sort of thing. But the framework was there. And it was pretty easy to work with Robert and that sort of thing. Now, one thing about him, I'm going to tell y'all that people don't know, and I hope you're not going to be mad for me to tell people. He's an academic by heart, he has a PhD. And so it was really, really easy to work with him on the research side. And I know he's in industry now, he's a big CEO and that sort of thing. He has an academic background, and research is one thing that we share in common as a passion for us. So it was really, really super easy to put that together. So I do want to thank Robert and Mixon Seed for this partnership. Mr. Ronnie Summers is here from the Palmetto Agribusiness Council and Advocates for Agriculture. I want to thank you for your friendship and your partnership with the agriculture community. And I want to say enough about Ronnie. I want to talk about Ronnie for a second. I met Ronnie years ago, and I'm gonna be honest, I met with him some years ago, probably about 20 years ago. And we was talking about internships. And I said, hey, you don't have no interns from state. He said, well, Whiteside, I can take some, you get me one. I'm like, okay. I went on campus, went to the business school. Hey, we need an intern. What did he do? Hire him just like that. It was just that easy. And so he's always been a supporter. And then he served on the business advisory committee for the business school at South Carolina State with me. So I've had some old friends in this space in agriculture, and it was just a matter of them opening the door and allowing our university to re-engage with the ag community, which we really, really appreciate. You know, the ag community is a special people. Y'all some special people, man. You know, they're a closed group, and they'll really let people in, but they let us in. And have been real big supporters of us and that sort of thing, and I appreciate y'all friendship. I want to acknowledge Mr. Travis Johnson from USDA, our USDA liaison. Has done an excellent job since he's been here, opening doors for us for USDA. I want to acknowledge our 1890 staff. Our staff members, they work, you know, they work really hard. I tell people all the time, if you pass by 1890 at 5:30, 6 o'clock, our parking lot is still full. People there, they out there getting it. And they get it done. So I want to recognize our 1890 staff that's here. But I want to recognize our university faculty, staff, and students, supporters, people who support us. I want to recognize them because when we call and we need something that's outside of the realm of what they normally do, they really don't turn us down a whole lot. They're like, man, Whiteside, y'all gonna work us to death, man. Y'all doing so much stuff over there, but they never turn us down. They always come and step up and do the things that we need them to do to get these things done to advance the university. So I do want to recognize them. Our university administration. You know, I see Ms. Bennett Bellamy in the back. We have our provost here, Provost Evans, the president, who in his absence, you know, who creates the environment for us to thrive and do these things that we do, and the success that we've actually had. And we recognize Mr. Elbert Malone. We've already recognized him here, Mr. Malone. I too met Mr. Malone about 20-something, 30 years ago, where Mr. Malone was just this real sharp dressing guy that had all the knowledge, and he still has it because when I need to know something, who I call Mr. Malone. Hey, listen, Malone, what you think about this? And he'll say, oh, Whiteside, you know, I don't think you want to do it that way. You might want to think about taking another approach. Like, yes, sir, I heed to that. And our Dean of the Business School, Dr. Gould, is here. I want to acknowledge Dr. Gould, who is here supporting us. And so, in closing, which, you know, you give me the mic, you know, when you give me the mic, you know, I don't like to sit down. And I'll talk. You know, they had prepared notes for me earlier. That's not how I thrive. I want to talk like this. You know, my marketing and media folks give me prepared notes and make me do all that kind of stuff. So this is my element right here. So South Carolina State University is on a major upward trajectory right now. It's a major upward trajectory, and the wave is still riding, and we just want to be a part of it. We want to keep it going. We want to support the university in all endeavors. And we are really in support of the thriving, the resurgence, and the actual success of the university, and we're here to assist that. So with that, I'll end by saying thank y'all very much. It's a great day in South Carolina, but it's a great day at South Carolina State University. Thank you.